leadership. Do, 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 do. Okay, and looks like we're going live now. Let me just mute it over here. All right, let's see. Let's start the recording. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello again. It is Monday. It's time for our Monday Mastermind. Want to welcome each and every one of you guys here. Those of you guys that might be watching on YouTube Live, feel free to join us. You can jump right on in. You can go to thelosttransition.com/live and you can join us live. Be part of the discussion, if you will. So if you're brand new here, just want to welcome you and kind of let you know the lay of the land of what we do here. These are our Monday masterminds. What we always start off with is our wins from last week. So we want to hear from those of you that are in the crowd here. Want to hear what your wins were. We like to celebrate those. Believe it or not, part of this whole network marketing thing is to celebrate your wins. It might come at the very end of things, but it's important to start off the program with this. We like to celebrate the wins, kind of forget about what might have happened last week unless it was good. Have a bit of a talking point or something to think about for this coming week, and then have a sense of direction. So that's what we do here. Appreciate you guys being here. Let's get the party started. Who's got some wins from last week? Anybody want to share? Vicky, go ahead.
Everything I've been applying has been working very well, and I'm so excited about it. The Facebook strategies are working well. The Now site CRM has been incredible because it did give me the information I needed so that I could get. I had been contacting and following up with many people, but I wasn't getting them to respond back on Facebook or the Wow app, which is what I was leading them to do. And when I got the CRM and I could find the LinkedIn or the Facebook address for these people, and I reached out to them that way, I got them on Facebook, and so I'm excited because one of the signups that I actually have communication with now, and we had a really great conversation on Saturday morning, it just feels so good to like finally be able to be building a relationship. It's like it
Love
feels
talking.
really good. So,
So,
and go ahead.
so you're getting some momentum going.
Oh yeah.
Good.
I love it. And also, I had lots of feedback because, I've been doing the lives. I only have a 5-minute part each week, but
Sure.
now it's turned into, instead of one time a week, it's 3 times a week.
Okay.
So, a lot of people are like sidelining and sending messages that they really love my part of the whole meeting. So it's their favorite
Good.
part, they said. So that
Good
makes me
job.
excited too. That helps boost the confidence a lot.
Good. Good job, girl. Well, congratulations. That sounds awesome and super amazing. That's the thing too. Once you get into that state of movement, man, just stay in it and just keep on going, girl. So kudos and congratulations for all those wins.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you
stuff.
for
That's
tireless hours. And thank God for your avatar.
I'm glad I could be there for you 24 hours a day. I love it. I love it. Honestly, guys, this is exactly why I do what I do, right? This is why I put this together because what we're doing here, if you're not paying attention, is we're building a community of leaders, a community of people that will, eventually, take over my spot, if anything else, but leading people to the promised land the right way when it comes to network marketing, so that people don't have to struggle. Because quite honestly, this industry is an amazing, amazing industry. And as somebody that's been in the sales industry all of my life, I can't tell you like enough about how how your life can change when you just have the right skill set, right? To be able to have the right communication, the right conversation with the right people. So thank you, Vicky, for sharing. Who's got some more wins? I know we got more out there. Go ahead, G.
Well, One piece of good news is my nav is actually working correctly. I'm very excited about it. Able to use it again. It's updating the sales plans. It's reading what I'm putting in there. Um, and I set a goal this week for 25 new outreaches this week, and I already made my first one this morning. Uh, got people lined up already in my queue, on my list. That I scheduled to follow up. I've got two people in the medical field that should reach out to also on that list, and just I don't know. I'm feeling more motivated because I've got a tool that I like to use.
Yeah.
It's not a drag to use, so I'm feeling more motivated in using it now. So, which is very very cool. So,
Good, good stuff, man. Well, thank you for sharing that. I want to let you know too, I had the most amazing sleep last night using Somaderm.
oh,
Uh,
good.
so those of you that don't know, Gene has a really amazing product that will help you with your hormones if your hormones are off. Paul as well, I think, right?
Yep, all those two.
Paul and Gene. So get with Paul or Gene, man. It's been odd. I told Gene a little bit about it, and he knows as well. He knows the product, his product better than I do. I tried it out, and I slept really good. I suffer from sleep apnea, by the way, so I sleep about 3 or 4 hours at a time. And I got some really good sleep the first night. The second night I tried it, I had some wicked dreams. And so I'm like, whoa, stayed off it for a little bit, but been trying it back again and had slept about 9 hours last night, which is
Oh,
kind of a miracle for me.
that's great.
A little broken because I had to go to the restroom, but man, I slept like the dead warmed over. I woke up this morning just like, wow, this is what it feels like when you get sleep. And imagine how hyper and active I already am. Oh my God, look out, guys.
Well, that's great. Very, very good to hear. I have two more wins. I forgot is, or one you reminded me of, and one I did forget is I've got a call later today with a lady who's interested in hormone health, and I upped my dose from 2 times to 3 times a day. One of our leaders had done that. So I'm doing morning and then 4:30, 5:30 in the afternoon, then before bed. And I'm even sleeping through the night without having to go to the bathroom. And I'm also not wetting the bed, which is a very good thing. So,
Call that a win for sure.
but when I get up in the morning, oh, my bladder is full.
Oh, that's hilarious, brother. Thank you for sharing that. Oh man,
Thanks.
that's hilarious. Who else has a whiz? I don't know who wants to go after that. Who else has some whiz they want to share? Come on, I know we do. I know we got some more. Go ahead, Keisha.
So, Jackie and I had a working session this weekend because I took my birthday off. But then Friday, I think we went in and I created an ebook that we're using as a lead magnet for targeting um, gun, not gun owners, firearms trainers. So I created the landing page. We created email sequence. We created the lead magnet. So hopefully we'll launch that today and see how
Right
that goes.
on. Oh, congrats. Look forward to all of your success. Make sure that you let us know, man, how it's going. We're probably going to be talking soon. Nothing too major or complicated about it, but possibly introducing fan pages, something that was recently brought back up to my attention. And I'm going to do some testing and stuff like that first. But the concept makes sense. And it goes back to all the things that we talk about anyway when it comes to just using your personal page for marketing.
Yeah,
Key
you and
thing
I were
is,
having that discussion.
what's that?
Rita and I were having that discussion because when I was looking it up, the difference between a business page and a fan page is not much different.
No, not too much. The only big major difference, right, is that you can have up to like a bunch of followers, but you can still have followers on your personal page too, right?
Mhm.
The fan page just makes it a little bit more professional, more business geared, if you will, right?
Mhm.
So you can talk just about business on that. You still want to, you still want to consider the 80-20% rule when it comes to that, even on your fan page, right? Give as much value as you possibly can But ultimately, your fan page is more focused. In essence, I kind of look at the fan page similar to a group. Right. Your group is where you're going to give all your dedicated information to everything. Your personal fan page or your personal page, you're going to be more personable. The things that you do, the things that you eat, places that you go, things like that, mixed in, splashed in with a little bit of network marketing, right? Or an ad. But obviously, we don't want to just throw everything out there. We don't want to throw our links out there. We want to pique the person's curiosity, right? But with the
Mhm.
fan page, it's full blown. Hey, this is me. But ultimately, what we're looking at and doing is the same concept as I was mentioning, is to have a place where people can go to start building that relationship. And then in essence, you're going to guide them, all of them, to one place, which is your website, which is where you're going to collect those leads that we always hear us talk about. We have to be building our leads. We have to be building our list. And I'll just mention this before we move forward. There's two lists that we're going to be making, right? We're going to be building our lead list, and then we're also our buyers list. So when people do buy from us, we want to make sure that those people are on a completely different list altogether. And in essence,
Mhm.
you might have a bunch of different lists, right? Depending on what products you're promoting or what websites, where you're directing people. But ultimately, you want to have one master list and then obviously that one master list for a buying list too, right? Paul, you can raise your hand. Gene, go ahead first. Then Paul, you can ask your question.
I just wanted to add to what you were talking about with the page. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but it seems like after the first of the year on my feed, I'm seeing all sorts of these fan pages, like pages, what do you want to call them, that I don't follow,
Right.
that aren't necessarily what I'm looking for, but I'm just seeing gobs of them where Facebook had been suppressing those for so many years.
Mhm.
So it's definitely something to at least check back into and start one and test it out and invite people to like and stuff like that because
Totally.
Facebook's going through some changes to the algorithms, hopefully for the better in the long run.
Well,
So
I hope so too, because as you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook. But one thing that I am very good at doing is paying attention to what I see because of the fact that I'm mostly on my Mac and I'm only on my cell phone if I'm away from my Mac. So I see the differences because of how I market in Facebook, not only just from the PC perspective, but also the phone perspective. I believe that there's like two variants, or at least what I've seen. There's like a daytime Facebook and a nighttime Facebook. Right? I don't know if you guys have paid attention or see that. But again, these are those little intricacies that I've told you guys before that comes from my childhood that I like to pick things apart and take them apart to see how they work. Um, Obviously, there, without going too deep into a rabbit hole, when all this political nonsense started happening, there was a lot of barriers for all of us to be able to get our word out, which is why I have this love-hate relationship with Facebook and also why I'm building out Muster Us as our own social network so that I can get my word out. But I do believe that now that there's been this presidential election change, there should be some changes that should be coming. If you were watching and paying attention, Mark Zuckerberg was there with the inauguration and all that other fun stuff. There's been videos that are out there talking about how he was kissing Trump's ass and, you know. So I do hope that Facebook does turn around and make some differences and some changes. Most of all, especially coming from someone who's a military veteran, to not stagnate our freedom of speech. That's something that I'm a firm believer in, right? So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, if you don't have a fan page, you may want to consider creating one. And as we get more into it and start learning more about it, we'll share what we have and what we find. Cool. Paul, go ahead, brother. Oh, you're muted. No audio for some reason.
Oh, okay,
There you go.
sorry.
I
Wait, you hear me now?
hear you now.
Oh, okay. Don't know why. Anyway, um, I have multiple businesses. One's a nonprofit consulting business. One is MLM, and then on top of that, I'm politically active. And then 2 years ago, I actually ran for state assembly, and uh, my experience on Facebook, and thankfully I was using my different email address and so forth. But it was from the time I registered on Facebook to the time I was permanently disconnected was 27 minutes. And it happened. I mean, I didn't even make a post. I literally was when I connected my campaign website, I was deplatformed
Ah,
on Facebook within 27 minutes of
is
my
that
signing in.
recently?
Well, this was 2 years ago. This is
Okay,
2.5 years ago. Actually, 3 years
gotcha,
ago now.
gotcha.
But so anyway, so with that in mind, and knowing political ones change, and what what I do, my consulting, my nonprofit consulting, I have all kinds of people I deal with daily who are very much on the polar opposite of um, politics, and so the uh, I am really cautious. I post nearly nothing on Facebook.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
and part of it is I feel like it's I think I've mentioned this before. I feel like it's extraordinarily narcissistic. But uh, um, on top of that, it's just I'm also very cautious these days.
sure.
So
So is there an actual question in there though?
oh, I was so like how do yes, sorry, there is a question.
Keep them
Sorry.
separated or
Uh,
what?
how do you keep these separate? And then if I'm using NowSite, uh, does that support well, posting to multiple different Facebook logins and all?
So great question. I figured that was the direction that you were going at, and let me try to answer this the best that I possibly can from what I know and what my experience is. When it comes to political, I'll tell you guys, backstory here. I've been on social media since it was alive, right? I was on MySpace when Facebook came out. I was on Facebook. The account that I'm on now is my second account because after roughly 15 years, I want to say this was back 4 years ago when the last presidential election thing happened. It took place. There was a pivotal moment in time when if you posted anything on Facebook, you were kind of shunned, if you will. For myself back then, I like to call myself a truther, not a conspiracy theorist, but a truther. And a lot of the things that I would say on Facebook had those elements of truth within them. Not so much being political or anything like that, but just truth, right? So myself and a bunch of my other friends that were what I would consider in a direct alignment with being truthers, a lot of us, and I don't even know what the number was, all of our accounts got shut down completely, completely. Um, this was again after 15 years of being on Facebook, no real warning, no notification, completely shut down, lost all my precious memories of my daughter, my life, just everything gone in a day. Very stressful, very, very stressful. Um, and then I literally sat on it for about 3 days, wondering like, okay, well, should I just create a new one? And screw Facebook. Were they going to kick me out? Whatever the case may be. So I created a new Facebook page, right? No problem. Haven't had a problem. But because of that, I learned my lesson that that was not the political place, was Facebook. Facebook is not the political place. If you want to be political, do it on X because that's what it's there for. Or do it on there's another one out there. I can't recall it off the top of my head, but it's the Mike Lindell's. He has a social network. If you don't know
It's
who Mike
useless.
Lindell is,
That
he's
that
the
was that
pillow
was
guy.
utterly useless.
Well, I'm just saying he's got one. But there's places for that content is kind of what I'm getting at, right? So yes, you want to be very careful when it comes to Facebook, especially when it comes to anything political, because whenever you put anything that they don't like, it's not going to be shown to anybody, right? So the other thing that I think about is also, if you look at the two biggest things that divide us as people, it's religion and politics, right? So for me being in network marketing, I'm not there to divide us at all. I want us to all come together. So those are two things that I don't talk about. I don't talk about religion and I don't talk about politics anywhere on my Facebook ever. If you're going to, obviously, I would have a dedicated page for each one of those things. Like we're talking about fan pages, you could have a regular fan page and a political type fan page if you so need that. But I would definitely be just very hesitant about doing anything political and even religious, right? I see people, don't get me wrong, if you want to, promote your religion, that's freedom of speech. I'm all for that. But what does it do for you? What is it really, what is it
Well,
helping? When in the interim of things, not to sound like an asshole, but for real, people don't care. You know what I mean?
well,
Real people don't care who you like, who you're, they don't care. But now if you go and expose, like as an example, and this is just me being me, if I see people out there and they're talking about how great the last administration was and Biden this, that's just an immediate, I want to block them. And not because I'm trying to be, a separatist or anything like that. I just don't want those people in my life because I don't believe they're thinking right, right? So, I know that was kind of
well,
a roundabout
well,
answer.
okay. I think more to the point, like I am involved in political party leadership in my county,
Sure.
and I am trying to bring us as a as an organization into the 21st century, and I am, by the way, I am surrounded by activist friends, surrounded by activists, and and we want to identify other people who have motivations to get off their asses and do stuff, and just like what NowSite does, and so I'm trying to move them into, the CRM has existed for 20, 30 years, use it, and we can now augment it with, these other tools.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I get what you're saying, and to go back to your question, you're going to be far-fetched to kind of change directions with just like that one email, right? Everything that is included in your artificial intelligence is what really going to come down to on the kind of post that you promote. Then whatever you have in your business profile, if you add to that as you're trying to create that post, then that's where that portion of it comes into being. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, you still want to go and have your own website for anything and everything that you're doing. And you want to drive the traffic to you, right? Business branding is building the brand around you personally, not around a company, not around tools, not around now site, not around health and wellness, not around any of that, because people join people, not businesses, right? I think too, Paul, not to cut you off or anything, and I'd love to have more of a conversation, but I think this is a deeper conversation that maybe you and I can have in the future, maybe after this or something like that, to get a better understanding of what you guys are trying to do. The only reason that I'm saying that right now, because you can be political, but there's some things that we have to understand too. Okay, realistically, and this is just me again speaking from experience. Rita knows where I'm coming from. When you are political, so to speak, you have to understand what the real world is really about. And I'm not saying that you don't, but when it comes to being political, that means that you're part of the system. That means that you're part of the government. That means that you're part of the corporation. I myself personally don't want to have anything to do with that corporation. I think that it's done enough damage to us as the United States citizen over the course of the past 100+ years. So, right?
It's great.
Um,
I'll send you my stuff.
Makes sense though,
Yeah,
right? For
absolutely.
me, I'm focusing on becoming a state national. If you know anything about that, cool,
Same here.
I do.
cool, awesome. But thank you. Let's definitely chat more about it, Paul, for sure. Okay. Any other wins that anybody wants to share? Hello, Michelle. Hi, Nicho. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that name. Any other wins? Wins, wins, wins? Yes, go ahead, Rita. Yes, and Muster Us will change a lot of things. I'm looking forward to getting that done too.
There's a song that says, "We always win no matter what." So I make sure I have at least one win. And that one win is I went from 1.8 to 1.9. Let me look. I think that's right. Followers. The weekly challenge I did. So I'm at 1.9 followers. So my goal by the end of this week is to have 2,000. And then I will work on the Money Mastery for Munchkins websites because that's launching very, very soon. So I have to get that up. And I did get some followers for them as well. So I'm kind of working on both. I think Paul was talking about that too. Like when you have two different products, or there's ways that you can work around it. But because Money Mastery is so different, then that's going to be a virtual product that kids actually attend versus network marketing products. So I can work with those all in one space, but Money Mastery is not a part of that. So
Right.
I hope that helps to clarify. But yes,
No,
I'm
it does.
excited about that. Woohoo!
That's good though. That it does, and I would imagine that you'll get those people into Money Mastery for Munchkins or through the adults, right? That you're talking to.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be
That
too hard.
that will probably be a part of my personal page, well, no, my business page as well. So I'm little by little constructing questions so that I can get a poll. But right now, I see what people like to see in terms of what I post. So now I'm trying to narrow that down. Okay, what can I give you that you like? Let me just figure that out and let's give you some more.
Absolutely, girl. Congrats. Good, good, good. It's always nice to see that business growth, especially when you're working at it. Um, the main thing I just want to reiterate, for some reason it's telling me to reiterate. I say it's means the universe. Look, I've said this before in our training. The big key component for any of us doing this network marketing thing or going into a leadership position or role is just simply to get started, right? We're not going to know all the answers. We're not going to have everything. Even if we have the best coaches, it takes some time to consume all that information and put it down on the page, so to speak, right? So your logo is going to change, your website's going to change, your colors are going to change. All that stuff's going to change. Even myself, Rita knows I revamped my entire website this weekend. That's what I was doing, right? But as you grow and you learn these things, that's the part of taking what your knowledge is that you've learned and then physically applying it to make those necessary changes so that when you do lead somebody to that lead capture page or that lead magnet, they get a good experience, right? So that it's not ugly and it doesn't scare them away. You don't want the ugly website that people are like, ah, don't want that, right? So kudos to you, girl.
I did
Kudos to
get
you.
a message from one of my former students who I think she follows me
Mhm.
because she makes a lot of comments. So when I posted about that, she said, let me know when you send me some more information. Let me know when you start that. So that is great credibility for me because that means she trusts me as how she knew me. So I was excited about that.
Absolutely, which kind of reminds me of, I guess, my little win, my that you know about was a testimonial that I got the other day. Just really, it blew me out of the water. So we're sitting there talking about these fan pages, right? And I went into my Meta back office because I have a fan page and it's set up that way. And lo and behold, I saw some messages in there that I had not seen. One of those messages went all the way back to January 31st, and I couldn't help but just made my day yesterday. So I posted it. Thanks to all of you guys that showed some love and support on it and helped get the word out there even more. But it floored me because I was approached by somebody that I coached and trained over 10 years ago, guys. Like I literally made me want to cry. But here's his testimony. He says, "Hey Robert, I'm not sure if you remember me, but you were my team leader when we worked at Washington Gas and Energy Services. I just wanted to send a special thank you to you personally. The sales skills you taught me have really helped me through my time in the military and life. It sharpened my spirit, mind, and body. I know I can do anything thanks to your teachings. Thank you. Like that, my friends, is just to me, it's amazing. That's why I do what I do. You know what I mean? To have that kind of impact on people, that's I don't know how to explain it to you. If you're not having this, you want it because it's gonna make you feel good, make you feel like all your purpose is answered, all the things that you've been doing, little things like that, right? So I was pretty tickled to get that. I'm looking to reach out to him, further the conversation, build the relationship more, and see where it takes us, right? Maybe he might come back and work with me again, and we'll go kick some ass and take some names again. He was a very, very good student. So that was my little win to share with you guys. It made my absolute day. So, anybody else got some wins? Enough about me.
I do.
Go ahead, Catherine.
I wasn't going to say anything. Rita know that I
Oh,
don't like to talk.
don't be hiding those wins now. Come on now.
I have a
No,
win.
I'd like to live vicariously through you.
So I have a win for thanks to Rita. I really do appreciate her. She just don't know how much I appreciate her and
She's
adore her.
amazing, isn't she?
Yes, she is. I was using a software. I was introduced to a software, but I wasn't using it until
Okay.
Rita told me that's
Okay.
what she's using. And so she was so loving and so patient, and she got on with me and showed me exactly how to use that software. And we having a little difficulty, but I'm going to use it. And I'm so thankful to Rita. So that's my win is that now I will be able to have start a conversation on Facebook thanks to Rita and to
Good.
get my present.
Good.
Uh,
Congratulations.
yeah,
Yes, that's a great win. And I know exactly what software you're talking about. It's a
yeah,
wonderful software.
yes, it is.
We're actually, Rita and I are in the beta for the newest version. It should be released pretty soon. So, yeah,
Yes,
definitely a great software. You may want to get it.
yes.
Good,
What
good,
software is
good.
that? Don't tease us.
It's a software called Social Prospector Pro. Yeah,
Yes, I
we
saw
have,
Rita showed that before. Yes, I know what you're talking about now.
yeah. Yeah, a buddy of mine, Rodney Stokes is the one that created it. But they ran into some issues with the whole algorithm change, like we were talking about with Facebook and how it changed. So they've had to do some recent updates to the technology, and we're close to being done. It's working pretty good right now. So we do have links. Rita and myself do have links if you want information. But I would wait, honestly. Give it give it a week or two to get the latest beta version. But yes, kudos. Good, Catherine. So that should help us get you to your goal pretty quick because you can have more conversations and add more people. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Good job.
She didn't mention something else too.
Oh yeah? Keep
She
it fit. See?
she's very creative, and she told me about a flyer that she was using, and somebody's picture was in there. She took their picture out, put hers in, so it's super cool.
Did you get some results off of that?
Don't know yet.
Okay. Still testing. Good, good,
Yep,
good.
yep.
Awesome. Well, good. Good job. Kudos and congratulations. Look, this is really what it's all about again, right? My whole mission is to work on building this community of people that are thriving. Those of you that are coming and literally like being close to the fire. If you're close to the fire, you're networking with people, you're going to learn a lot of new things and different things that you can put into use for your business. But really, really, what it comes down to is I'm doing my best to try to create some leaders in the industry, right? Ultimately because of I don't really want to say is my way of giving back because that would sound cheesy. But what I do know is that from my experience, I know that this industry lacks leadership. And I say that very lightly. And as you can tell, I kind of laugh when I say that, right? It definitely lacks leadership. And one of the things that I've learned through my experience, right? Not just leadership in general, but one of my mentors told me is that we have to become a humble leader, right? A humble servant leader, if you will. And in order to do that, there's this thing called leadership that many of us need to learn, right? And not all of us know how to do this. Not all of us are born leaders. Not all of us have been in leadership positions, right? So today, week 6, Monday Mastermind, we're going to talk about what is leadership. I got a few things that I want to explain to you, some questions, some talking points, and see where this conversation carries us. Ultimately, because going back to what my leader was talking about, in order for you to truly start having success, one thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to step into your own personal power, right? That means you're going to have to step into your own personal power and decide that you're going to go on that journey into leadership. So, what is leadership, right? When you think about leadership, if you're looking for a definition of it or anything, it's really just the art of motivating a group of people towards achieving whatever that common goal is, right? So it doesn't really matter what it is, but it's just, again, being able to motivate a group of people to go towards whatever that goal is. So it could be a monetary goal, it could be just a place to go hang out at, it can be all kinds of different things, right? And for those of you guys that join us, know that I don't do a lot of reading, but there is one book in particular that I have read that I do recommend that everybody pick up. And that book is called How to Lead When You're Not in Charge. How to Lead When You're Not in Charge. In fact, I should probably talk to Clay Scroggins and see if I could get an affiliate link. That's how much I love that book. Because what that book taught me is how to lead even if you weren't in a leadership role, right? Which is something that also I learned in my military experience. So I've got tons of leadership experience going all the way back from the time that I was 16 working at McDonald's to the time that I was the outrankingest E4 in the battery in my military platoon, all right? To all different things, the times that I've built multiple teams throughout my life, whether it was up in Baltimore, Maryland, or in the ghettos of California, right? I built a lot of teams, so I've had a little bit of experience dealing with leadership. But again, it's just motivating people. And then you got to think to yourself, well, can I motivate people? Or how do you motivate people, right? But what it really involves is it involves setting a vision, right? Regardless of what that vision is, and then inspiring others and guiding them to reach whatever those objectives are, just like what we're doing here. We find out what your goals are. What is it that you're working on? And then help guide you in that direction. Maybe it's a little bit of motivation. Maybe it's a kick in the ass, right? Because some of us, sometimes we need a little kick in the ass. Let's not lie to each other, right? But it's also just guiding them. As she raised her hand, yeah. But it's just guiding them. And then, two, what true leadership is being there for those people that come to you for that leadership, right? But a leader role is not just to direct people and point people and be the boss of people and say, do this and get that done. And how come you haven't done this yet? That's not a leader, right? That's a boss. That's why we want to have this conversation so that we in this group, cumulative group, don't become bosses, right? We become leaders. That's what we need to do. If you become a humble servant leader, then realistically, all you're doing is you're going out there, you're having conversations, you're finding out what the problem is with people and whether or not you can solve their problem. Now, you may not be able to solve their problem directly, but the beautiful thing about network marketing is your network, right? They say your network is your net worth. So, as an example, we talked earlier today. If I go and I talk to somebody and I'm just building a relationship with them, and they for some reason tell me, "Oh man, I've got PTSD. I can't sleep." They do tell me the same things that I know of. I might not be an affiliate for that company, but guess what? I know my buddy Gene is. I know my buddy Paul is, right? and I can refer them. That's true essence of network marketing, my friends. Okay? It's not for you to reach out and just get a sale on every damn person you run into. It got a little loud there, but that's for a reason because I want us to all make sure we understand this. A sale does not have to be made on every single call. Okay? The key components of connecting with people is to build that relationship and again, find out what they need. And if you can solve their problems, they're going to love you because you solve their problems. That easy. Okay? So there's a few definitions that we need to think about. Number one, transactional leadership. Write that down. Transactional leadership. What is transactional leadership? Well, transactional leadership itself focuses on the role of supervision, organization, and group performance. It's about clear structures, rewards, and penalties. As a quick little example, Rita and I were talking about the group, right? We're looking at those things. Well, I'm showing her to look at those things, right? Let's see what's happening. What is happening with those organizations? You know, even her with her numbers, right? She's looking at those on her end too, right? How is the organization growing? What is the group performance? What are they doing? Right? How can we reward them, or even how do we penalize them? Right? I had one girl jump into the group today, and after I go looking at her profile, ooh, screams scary, need to block kind of thing. So I had to block her. That's another thing that us as leaders have to do. If we have these groups, we need to be very aware and careful. And I hate to use this word, but keep our people safe, right? That means I'm not going to just go out there and just let everybody in the country or in the globe join my group, right? Now, if people are following you, you can't do much about that. That's one thing. But if they're commenting or saying something on your page or posting and then tagging you along with 69 other people, right? That's where you had to give the penalty. That's where you had to remove, block, or whatever is necessary. But transactionally, you had to watch and see that growth and act accordingly. Okay. Number two is transformational leadership. So through transformational leadership, that's going to encourage innovation and change, right? Maybe those people that are afraid of it, artificial intelligence. And we can help show them that, hey, artificial intelligence is not all bad as everybody might be telling you that it is. In fact, it's a tool, just like most things that are out there, just like your fiat currency that's out there. It's a tool. It's worthless, but it's a tool, right? So we want to encourage that kind of innovation. We want to inspire and motivate the team beyond the immediate self-interest of and for the greater good. Paul, did you have something you wanted to add?
Regarding AI being a tool, I have a buddy who is a sales manager for a building materials, um, large building materials company.
Uh-huh.
His highest earning salesman earns 450 grand a year, has no administrative support. He just uses AI to get it done. So
Nice. That's it. Right? We jokingly but really say, use the tool, don't be the tool. Right? So transformational leadership, though, just to recap, that's where we go and we're inspiring people and or motivating them. Right? Number three, servant leadership. You heard me talk earlier about becoming a humble servant leader. There's a reason for that, right? What do you think a servant leadership does? Or what do they do? They put the needs of their team first. I'll say that again. They put the needs of their team first. Goosebumps. Goosies. Ooh, running all up and down my spine. Right? When you put the needs of your team first, that's true servant leadership. Okay. Focus on their growth and their well-being. Where are they at in the picture? Especially if you're a person like myself that already has and knows this information collectively, give them those pieces and bits and chunks based off of where they're at in life. Right? Anas knows what I'm talking about. We talk almost every morning, right? And those of you that we don't talk enough, come on, let's have that conversation. Ask me those questions. Tell me those conversations that you're going through that I can help you work them out because I've probably have already had those conversations thousands of times, guys. Right? I'm not up on my soapbox. I'm not saying I'm any better than anybody else. I'm merely telling you guys that I knocked thousands upon thousands of doors, west to east coast, up in Canada, ran into all different walks of life, and I'd still close customers 90 to 100%. Right? But that's off topic. Number four, autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership. So when it comes to autocratic leadership, though, this is where the decision-making power comes in, right? It's centralized on the leader itself. You have to like really be effective if there's any crisis. But if you pay attention, you can normally nip those crises in the butt. What do I mean by that? Well, from a standpoint of now side, okay? If you're paying attention to the people that are joining you and you look into your back office, and even before that, the moment somebody doesn't pay, you're going to get a little warning. You're going to get a message. Hey, so and so did not, do what they needed to do. That's the first sign right there, guys. The first sign that somebody misses their monthly payment or monthly obligation, that's a sign. And if you don't pay attention to it, you could potentially have people joining you and then quitting and having this huge turnover ratio. So then now you're just always constantly working and working and working on building instead of actually working on building out their core strengths, right? Instead of taking them, like you've heard me say before, if you haven't, you're going to have what I call A reps, B reps, and C reps. Your mission as a leader is to take your C reps to B reps, your B reps to A reps, and your A reps, you're there. Your sole mission is to support them. What questions can you answer for them? What systems can you show them? What direction can you give them? Right? But your A reps are going to be the ones that are going to help drive most of your team growth and organization. Just like the guy that had given me that beautiful testimonial, he was a great teammate who went out there, was very studious, and he did very well. He was very coachable and did very well from what I remember. Right? But now, getting back to what we're talking about, you have to pay attention to those signs and then also be able to stop the crisis from happening beforehand. Now, one of those crises that comes to mind that I can think about pops up is a bad apple, right? What do I mean by a bad apple? Well, you can have one bad apple, one person in there that you pissed off or didn't understand what the terminology was or whatever it is that can sit there and be a cancerous cell within your organization. You guys know what I'm talking about? I've had them. I've had them, right? The best teams were some of the ones that I did door to door. Those guys would go to battle for me. If you said anything negative about the place, oh, hell no, they were ready to kick your ass because they knew better, right? In fact, Rita knows this jokingly. Up in Baltimore, Maryland, guess what my nickname was for my team? I was called Black Rob. Let's see you laughing your ass off, Curtis. That was it, though. But because of the strength that I built within my teams, I didn't have people that were just coming and going. I didn't have people that were just quitting. They would go out there, they would learn, and they were on that transformational journey to get better and better and better at what they did. Right? So you got to be careful, be wise, be watchful, be mindful, see where everybody's at. And create a group that's in a condition of environment that's thriving, right? Not something that's gonna piss people off, make people mad, and get you enemies. Number fifth is democratic leadership, which I find funny when I hear the whole democratic word itself, and not to get political or anything like that, right? But decisions are made collectively. That's what it comes to when people try to talk democratic. It's collectively, if you believe that, right? The style promotes team engagement and creativity, but can slow down decision-making processes. So what do we mean by that? I go back to what I was talking about in that book that I recommended to you guys, How to Lead When You're Not in Charge. Because here's the beautiful thing. If you have what I learned from that book is what I call the power of suggestion. Write it down if you need to. When you understand this, I'm telling you guys, this has been so pivotal in my experience. When you understand the power of suggestion and how it works, it's just an amazing thing. So you don't have to be the person that's in charge. All you have to do is wait for that right moment when the timing is right and people are looking for that direction. Boom, that's where you drop it in. Right? That's where everybody's like, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that one. Right? But if you don't know, you got to get the information, learn it and know it, practice it, apply it so that you can physically see what I'm talking about. Because I can sit here and I can tell you all these things all day long, and you may or may not believe me, but once you actually experience them, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You'd be like, oh, that's what Robert was talking about, right? So going back to the democratic leadership, you have to make those decisions collectively, yes. But at the same time, you're still the leader. I need to remind you of that, right? So many times I'll ask, as an example, I'll say, okay, well, I want to do a team webinar for you guys. What's a better day, Saturday or Sunday? Everybody gathers together. They all vote in a democratic fashion, and we choose the one that most people are going to be able to make it to, right? We want max participation. So those are the five different points, if you will, for leadership that I want to discuss with you. Transactional leadership, transformational leadership, servant leadership, autocratic leadership, and democratic leadership. But now, when we take all these things and we think about them, and again, going back to us being a leader, well, how do we become this leader that you're talking about, Robert? Well, the main thing is number one, to show up like you guys are doing now. Be near the fire. Be on those webinars or Zooms that you can be on. Obviously, time permitted. If you can't be on them, you can't be on them, right? But do your best to be a sponge in culminating all the information that's being thrown at you so that you have those answers, so that now you become that go-to guy, right? Well, I got a question. Well, let's go to Gene. He knows the answer, right? Let's go to Vicky. Traffic exchange. Let's go to Vicky. She knows those answers, right? Talk about money mastery for Munchkin. Well, let's go to Rita. You need some planning and stuff. You don't know, how to start your day. Let's talk to Michelle. Get it? Everybody with me? Understand? All of us are going to have our own little nuances, if you will, of things that we can accomplish or help people do. Right? I just happen to know a lot of that stuff, and then I have really cool friends that can take care of the things that I can't take care of. Right? And then so what happens there? You build this network, right? Your network is your net worth. Do you think that if I send Gene a customer or, he's found some people through our membership and our friendship here, do you think that if somebody comes along and mentions something that Gene knows that I can take care of, but Gene doesn't because he's not involved with that, do you think that Gene would probably send me that person? Do you think? I know Gene would. I know Gene would. To say, I can't help you on that, but I know who can. Get it? That's the thing I want to stress to you guys. It's not about every contact that you touch is going to be your customer. Those are just conduits, if you will, right? They're merely conduits. And I've said this before too. I don't believe in circumstance. I believe that everything happens for a reason, even the people that you meet on the daily basis. And it doesn't, you may not know what that is right away, right? It might take 3 months or 6 months down the line to figure out, oh, I connected with this person because they needed to be connected with this person. And when you become that connector, if you will, man, more things will happen in your life. More people will love what you do. More people will come and say, hey, she's the shit. He's the shit. Go talk to them, right? So, can't stress enough about the importance of emotional intelligence as well in leadership. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's talk about me for just a second. I don't like to, but I'm one of those people that I'm emotionally detached from the entire thing, right? Emotionally detached from the entire thing. What do I mean by that? Married to the process, divorced from the outcome. If I'm having a conversation and they tell me no, I don't give a shit if they tell me no. Okay, great. What are you doing this weekend? Boop. That no isn't mentally affecting me. Not to mention, I typically don't get a lot of no's because of what I'm teaching you guys and how to structure things. You know? But if you know and learn these things, you'll know how to structure those words, how to get around the objections that people tell you, and to make your life easier, to expose them to the information that they need so that they can then make a decision on their own, all the while you help them make that decision, but they think that it's their idea, right? Make sense? Because if they don't think it's their idea, they think that you're selling them or pushing them towards something. Zoop, there goes the wall of resistance. Here comes the nose, right? But if you have these different leadership styles and you're impacting your team, you're bringing in people, you're caring about them, not the money, caring about how they're progressing, all of that stuff, it will all take care of itself and your team will grow and it will flourish, right? I want to mention super big the role of ethics and integrity in leadership are monstrous. Ah, Paul. Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. Seriously. You must have ethics and integrity. I know everybody in here does. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be here. I don't attract people without ethics, right? But it's something that we need to consider, something that we need to think, so that we as leaders, as we're growing into leadership or even teaching people to grow into leadership, to make sure that they grow into leadership and have ethics and integrity. You know, I love to say this all the time. Thank God my first mentor was my mother, and she brought us up with morals, values, and scruples. We screwed up, she used to kick our ass. Talk back, she'd smack the shit out of us, right? Yeah, I went through that time in life, a good time in life. Now, who knows, right? Anyway, there's also a difference between being a leader and a manager. Quick point to talk about, right? I like to say too, there's a difference between being a sponsor and a mentor. Be a mentor, don't be a sponsor, right? Be a leader, don't necessarily be a manager. But the other thing to mention, the significance of communication skills for effective leadership, go back to what we talk about all the time, is that this business is not about pitching and selling. It's about personal development and the type of leader that you are going to become to have people even want to follow you, right? So we want to be careful in what we do to cultivate those leadership skills within your team. Have those morals, values, and scruples. Make sure that you're doing things the right way, right? And not just promising people the moon and not delivering, right? So that's my part. I trust that we got some value out of it today, at least some things to think about. Anybody got anything that they want to add?
well, if I can speak up a little bit, I used to, some of y'all know that I've been involved with network marketing for years, but back in 09, 2010, I started working for a network marketing leader. Boy, did my eyes open big on behind the scenes of dealings and bad dealings with network marketing. It turned me off for quite a few years of even being involved. You've got those bad eggs, those bad leaders, and they will look just like they are sent from Jesus to lead the team and lead the company.
Yep.
And then you realize, oh no, you know. So as you're working through things, pick your leaders right. Also, the ones that you lock arms with, upline, downline, cross line. Sometimes you'll find those other partners that are not in your business line, but you can still partner up with and work with. Sometimes they're better than your, yeah, even cross company. Yes, thank you. Even cross company.
100%, bro.
So, but choose those business partners and leaders appropriately. That's for sure. Do your due diligence.
Look, 100%, Gene, and I love that you said that. And I'll say this with a grain of salt. And it's really sad that people do have to, go through this. But again, it's because the industry is dysfunctional to begin with, and you got a lot of the blind leading the blind. It is kind of sad that you have to go to another leader in your company sometimes, but it's important that you do, right? I learned that lesson way back when I was in, my network marketing company. And then even the fact that I had joined a business and I could never get in touch with my upline. Imagine, guys, if I joined your business and I couldn't get in touch with you. Are you crazy? Right? Like I could have done so many good things, and I did, don't get me wrong, but didn't do it with any of his help. But then goes back to my thought and bringing it up into this industry. We cannot wait for your leader to show you the way, right? You can't. If you wait for whatever leader that you're under to show you the way, you're going to be waiting forever. So I congratulate each and every one of you guys that do come to these meetings. Those of you that are in my team coaching, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And then those of you that are my friends that do come to me too. Like I love that. I love that I can be here to help you guys. That's part of my mission and my legacy that I want to leave. And just so that people know that when I graduate this planet, that I was legitimately out there to help as many people as I could achieve what it was that they wanted to achieve. And a lot of that, believe it or not, is going to come in the sales industry, my friends. It's going to happen in the sales industry. This is what I know to be true. Anytime that I had any worries in my life and I had to worry, I got a bill to pay. You know what? One of my other mentors told me, go to work. Go to work. Make some money because unfortunately, money typically solves a lot of problems. All right? Go ahead, Rita.
I wanted to, just in the short time that I have been in this group, just want to say to like Michelle and anyone who does business with her, I was like the poster kid for, okay, I'm gonna do it. Oh, missed it. I'm coming to the presentation, but whatever happened. Michelle never said anything. She continued to invite me. I'm so glad that she didn't give up, on, oh, she's not interested. No, Rita had a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Doesn't matter. But she just, reached out. And through that helped me to get organized better. Of course, we know about her planner. So, but that's the kind of person I like. Understand that I'm interested. And if I tell you I'm interested, I'm not lying. It's just that right then I can't, I can't get in there right now, but I like it. I'm interested. Gene is excellent on customer service. So if he will track anything down for you, find out the answer. And to me, that's a great leader. Keisha does the same thing. Like we'll get on calls like, okay, like how do I do this? Okay, let me see. She may not know, but she's going to help me find that answer or trigger me somehow that I'm like, oh, okay, I'll start, she helps me to connect those dots. So, everybody has that I have interacted with even, with Catherine, and I really admire her because of what she's doing. And she's a model for anyone else that is trying to accomplish the same thing. She just didn't give up. She sees the value, she sees the vision, and she just keeps working towards it. So, this is an awesome group, and I can't wait to see how other people are progressing as well. Because if you stay to the fire, that means stay here, guys. Seriously, just show up and glean, get stuff from what everybody is sharing. Because nobody told me what that meant. They just said, just show up. Okay, so what do I do after I show up? I'm here. I showed up. Well, people are we're getting things from each other, which is such a wonderful community to be in. So I'm going to be quiet now.
No, I love it. Absolutely. You gave me goosies, girl. You gave me goosies. Awesome. Well, I trust everybody got some value out of today. Raise your hand if you did. If not, oh man, we'll have to do a better job next time. I want you guys to go out there, kick ass, take names. Let's have a fantastic